So, I moved to New York City 3 years ago with my husband Mark and my then 5-year-old son Corbin. And this was a huge new adventure for my family. Everything was new about this. And I was particularly really excited about starting yoga at a new yoga studio. I had previously been teaching yoga in Arkansas, and I was kind of tired of being the teacher, and I was really excited about just getting to be the student. And as I mentioned, everything was new. We had moved into an apartment on the 27th floor of a big high-rise building, and we had left a big house on a lot of land with a lot of trees in Arkansas. We were trying to figure out how to get around the city. We didn't bring a car, so we were immediately trying to figure out the subway, taxis, walking everywhere, the bus, and everything that's involved with that. Corbin, of course, we had to figure out school. Do we do public? Do we do private? We did public. We ended up on a private waiting list, which is everything in New York City has a waiting list, which is something else that was new to us. And then there was also trying to figure out grocery shopping in New York City. Now in Arkansas, I would get in my car, I would back out the driveway, I would drive about 2 or 3 miles across town, all the while chatting it up on the phone with my girlfriends, listening to the radio, having a really leisurely drive across town. I would get to Kroger in this massive parking lot, get this gigantic food cart that now when I think about it is just like, it must have been like I was trying to feed an army. They're huge. Nonetheless, walk into this pristine grocery store, big aisles, clean, calm, a really lovely experience in the grocery store. Not the case on the Upper West Side, at Fairway, in my new neighborhood. First of all, I don't drive there, I don't have a car. Second of all, I cannot talk to my girlfriends because I can't hear her talk and she can't hear me talk because it's so loud. I don't listen to the radio or my iPod because I'm scared to walk down the street with my earbuds in for fear of getting ran over in a crosswalk or possibly mugged. And then there's Fairway itself. This place is insane. I don't know who set this place up, but it is ridiculous. There's no space. They're restocking everything on every aisle at every hour of the day. And the kicker is nobody in this city, even in Fairway, understands the concept of bearing right. If everybody would just bear right, this whole city would move a lot better. So nonetheless, like I said, everything was new and nothing was familiar except my yoga practice. Now, I started practicing yoga many years ago, and I came to yoga in probably what I can only describe as the darkest, most depressed point in my entire life. I had just ended a 7-year relationship with a man that at that point in time I thought was the love of my life and I was going to spend the rest of my life with. So this 7-year relationship ends and I am on the verge of what I can only describe as a nervous breakdown. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, it was everything I had to get myself dressed and to work. I was a mess. Until one day I woke up and I said, all right, I've had enough of this. You got 2 choices. You can either get some pills and get a doctor, or fix this yourself. And I opted for that. I bought a yoga mat and got a yoga teacher and I got after it with yoga. And ever since then, yoga has really been a bit of a security blanket for me. So being in New York City with all of these new things, I really gravitated back to yoga. And I had this particular teacher at Pure Yoga that I really liked. Her name's Nicole. She's petite, she's very curvy, and she's quite angelic. She's just great to be around. And she has one of those voices that if she told you to jump off the Brooklyn Bridge, you would probably just do it. Because it's just this amazing voice. And she always gave the perfect adjustments, and she played amazing yoga music. It was lyric-free, it was usually something beautiful from Krishna Das, and it's the kind of yoga music that I like to practice too. So one day, she wasn't there, and I opted for a different yoga class. And when I walked into the room, I knew immediately that this was not probably gonna go so well. First of all, it looked like everyone was prepping for like Yoga Olympics. Every advanced yoga move that you have ever seen or ever wanted to do, someone in this space was doing it, and the class hadn't even started yet. And then there's the teacher himself. Sherman walks in, and just to give you a quick visual, Sherman looks like a beautiful black Arnold Schwarzenegger. He looks like he couldn't even think about bending over to touch his toes or put his foot behind his head, which are all the things that this guy can actually do. So I was thinking, okay, this is going to be an interesting class. Sure enough, it was. So we get started. We're kind of moving through some sequences. Everybody's getting their breath on and getting into it. He turns the music on, and it's Florence and the Machines, and she's singing Robert Palmer's version of "You're Gonna Have to Face It, You're Addicted to Love," and it's this really sexy, boozy brunch version of this song. And I'm immediately thinking, okay, this is yoga. This is not brunch. There are no champagne glasses. And second of all, it reminded me of the 80s, which just pissed me off. The 80s, first of all, the music is atrocious. It took me back like junior high, high school, and all the cliques and all the bitchy girlfriends and just all of the ick of the 80s. So I'm immediately going, all right, I'm trying to swat these crazy, bad, 80s vibes out of my head and get focused, which is what you do when you go to yoga, and just keep going. So we're about halfway through yoga class. It's hot. We are mat to mat in this studio space. And we're in this forever long version of a standing straddle. I think I've been there for about 20 minutes when this all starts to happen. And everyone's butts in the air, elbows are on the floor, and I hear this song, and I'm still not quite sure who sings it, but it goes something like, something, 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 motherfucker! Now mind you, my ass is in the air, my elbows are on the floor, and I'm like looking between my legs at everybody around me, and I'm thinking, did they just say motherfucker in a yoga class? Nobody else really seemed fazed by it except me. And I thought, oh, maybe this is a mistake. He's got the wrong song on his playlist. He's going to change this, and we're just going to move on to something else. And he didn't. And I'm still upside down, looking between my legs, and it comes back again. And something, 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 motherfucker! And I'm like, all right. And at this point, my yoga piece was gone. And mental chatter in my head kind of started to come undone. And I'm thinking, all right. This is not a yoga song. I don't know why I came to this yoga class. I know better than to sign up for these like competitive style, I got a better crow pose than you kind of class. That girl back there should probably shave next time when she comes to class. Oh my God, nobody is bothered by this. What are all these sweaty motherfuckers doing listening to this song upside down in yoga class? This is just fucking ridiculous. And at this point in time, I very well could have just been like standing in line at the DMV, getting my driver's license renewed. Any piece that I had was gone, was totally gone. And class progresses, as it does. We did some headstands, some shoulder stands. We finally got to the end, and we're in Savasana. And if you're not familiar with yoga, Savasana is really what it's all about. You get to lay on the floor and do absolutely nothing. Best part of class. So I'm lying on the floor, I'm taking my bolster, put it underneath my knees, grabbed my lavender eye pillow, put it over my eyes, pulled my blanket up, and was just lying there. And I was thinking to myself, finally, maybe just finally, I can get a few moments of peace with no crazy songs and, kind of get on with it. So the lights are off, there's a candle flickering off in the corner, and I'm thinking, oh, this is gonna be great. And then I hear it. It's Adele. And she's singing Bonnie Raitt's "'Cause I can't make you love me if you don't." And I'm like, are you just fucking for real? And I am immediately in my head, it's like somebody pushed play, and I'm right back in Arkansas with the motherfucker who broke my heart, who made me depressed, who got me to yoga in the first place. And I'm like, really? Come on. And then I just started laughing. Like, really laughing, which you are not supposed to do in Savasana in a yoga class. It's kind of like laughing in church during the Lord's Prayer. You're not supposed to be laughing. And I just was like, you know, and I just went with it. Like you're supposed to do in yoga. Just go with it. And class was over and I rolled up my mat and I went on my merry way back into the insanity of New York City and made my way back to my apartment. And I've since then been back to yoga classes. They've not been hijacked by any motherfuckers though, or any crazy lyrics, and they've been absolutely fine. But I think the Zen connection might possibly be from this whole yoga experience and all the crazy lyrics. Maybe I could possibly just be addicted to motherfuckers that I can't make love me. Namaste, y'all.